we really feel like everyone's job in this country is to impact education. So our three core values are be the change, ones that are challenging the status quo, that are out there not just kind of checking the box saying this is the way we always done it, and really looking at how do students learn best, how do teachers learn teach best. So be the change is a big one for us, and that's for every action that we're doing. The second one is you belong here. And it used to be phrases, we attract others that share the same passion as us, but you belong here is just such a catchy way to encompass all of that, because we are saying whether you're joining our team or you're just joining our mission, you belong here. Like we want you to be part of this movement that is going on with education. And the third one is listen, care, and follow through. This is just really more about how we operate, is that we're listeners first, that we really care about the work we're doing, and that we're going to follow through on our commitment.
Welcome to Grow Think Tank. This is the one and only place where you will get insight from the founders and the CEOs of the fastest growing privately held companies. I am the host. My name is Gene Hammett. I help leaders and their teams navigate the defining moments of their growth. Are you ready to grow?
Today we look at mission. Mission is something that a lot of companies think that they use effectively, but are you truly using it to the fullest power? Or is it aligning your people? Is it a recruiting tool? Is it something that people are talking about on a day-to-day basis? Inside of today's interview, we have co-founder of KayTwelve. His name is Kevin Stoller. Kevin and I kind of look at mission over money. And mission over money is really the core of this idea, but also we dive into some of the details behind that. Like how do we use values and what are really going on inside the company as we recruit and as we develop and as we fire people along this mission over money idea. When you think about your own business, are you absolutely certain you know how to develop your executive leadership team to a fully functioning, optimized team? Are they running without you? If you were not able to show up for work, what would happen inside your business? Well, my hope is that it runs fully without you, but it's better while you're there. And that's what my clients are looking for. And if you want to have a conversation about what does it take for you to step up as a powerful leader and really empower your executive leadership team and even leaders across the organization, I'd love to talk to you about what's getting in your way of doing that, but really help you grow your company to that next level, whatever it is for you. If you've listened to this podcast before, you've probably heard me say this, but just a lot of people don't take advantage of this one offer I'm making to you, which is a chance for you to talk about what's really going on in your company and what's really it takes for you to grow your business. I'm going to help you identify it and create a plan for that. And it costs you absolutely nothing. I've been doing this for a decade. Would you like to talk about your business with someone that could give you the insight you need to get more clarity and confidence to move forward? Well, that's exactly what I'm offering to you. All you have to do is go to genehammett.com and schedule a call. This is not a sales pitch. We truly are looking at what is it getting in your way and create a plan for you. And you can follow that. If you want to work with me, great. If not, you'll have that plan to go execute on. So all you have to do is go to genehammett.com and schedule your call today. Now here's the interview with Kevin. Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing well, Gene. Thanks for having me.
Well, excited to talk to you about the ideas that are driving your company that to get to where level you are now, but tell us a little bit about the company itself, KayTwelve.
Yeah, KayTwelve, we always say we're a mission-based organization that is out to impact education. We just happen to be in a space where we're selling furniture to schools. So it's something that when you start phrasing it, I would say like, no, we sell school furniture. That's a lot different than talking about what we really do, which is really changing what schools look like.
Well, I think this is a big topic today. Schools, I think most people are concerned about what's going on in education, especially with their children, and then really just hiring different people. So tell us a little bit about that mission and really what drives the company forward.
Sure. Yeah. The mission is really everything for us. And it kind of starts with our core values, but that mission is the driving force. And it's kind of translated into a really tangible thing for our team. We have a weekly meeting, every Friday meeting we go through our scorecard with the team. And the first line is looking at how many students do we impact that week. And we set this 10-year target of wanting to impact 10 million students' learning environments. And it becomes really the driving force for our entire team of realizing everything we're doing has an impact not only on every student that we work with right now in their learning environment, but really it's like multiple generations. We know whatever we put into school, it's probably going to be there for at least 20 or 30 years. And the work that we're doing really can either hurt that learning environment and the teachers and the students, or it can really be a learning tool to help them learn the best way that they can.
I don't know if you can do this quickly, but, and I'm assuming you're not coming up with that number. There's some kind of sales figure that comes up into the impact made.
Yeah.
Walk us through just so we understand how you come up with the scorecard number for number of students impacted.
Yeah, we do. So it's not always exact on here, and we've had actually a lot of discussions with our team to do this. But one of the things, like when we're creating an opportunity in our Salesforce CRM, for them to actually create an opportunity and get a project number, one of the required fields is how many students is the space going to impact. So we look at that on like the year one, and then we do have a derivative that we kind of add in every year, but we don't do it all at once. And it's been as accurate as I feel like we could get it without getting in too much detail and getting where it's almost impossible for us to actually get the exact.
I'm not trying to test you here, but I don't know when that meeting was last. Where was that number when you last heard it?
Yeah, we just crossed the 400,000 mark, so we got a long way to go. But it does kind of serve as that guiding light, that big goal that we're aiming for. And because of that, it's really put a lot of the strategic decisions into perspective of, all right, well, how do we do that? It's really spurred our geographic growth. It's also spurred a lot of our ventures that we're going beyond furniture, of how we can impact education into other ventures that we're working on right now.
I would imagine from a place of employees, like employees aren't necessarily excited by the company generating revenue and profits, although they should be, because that's what keeps us, growing and keeps them fed. But I would imagine this one number has such a huge momentum impact, or ability to align people together. Give me just a little bit about that.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Like for us, you're exactly right. I mean, the first time we were kind of coming up with the 10-year target, as a business owner, I'm sitting like, well, I want to be whatever $1 million company, but that just did not resonate with the team. And literally, like the day we all collectively decided this is about impact, we might as well be measuring our impact. Everything changed. Employees changed, and we even said this is an internal thing. This is not about marketing, but our team couldn't help it. Like it naturally became the marketing message, where they wanted to go out, talk to customers about it. They want to talk to our vendors about it. And they wanted to talk to other people in their industry, which we're, like always saying, we're trying to attract the people that share our values. So it's been a tremendous impact that I didn't anticipate it, or even like necessarily think it was going to do it the way it did.
Now, Kevin just talked about goals. Now, goals could be that you want to reach a certain revenue amount, or you want to reach a certain profitability or some other number, but that doesn't really align people. It doesn't resonate with them. You want goals that truly do connect people together, creates a sense of unity. It creates a sense of we're on a mission together. This whole podcast episode is on mission over money, but you want to make sure that you have goals that align people together, that they feel something, they resonate with it deeply. And if you don't have that, you're missing an opportunity. So I'm putting a spotlight on this for a moment, because I want you to think about, what are the goals that you're constantly talking about? Does it really matter? And I'm challenging you, create goals that matter to your people, that resonate with them, that they can get excited about. You making more money probably doesn't excite them as much as you think it does. Now back to Kevin. Well, we've unpacked that a little bit. Hopefully that gives us those listening in a view of how you're using this mission and vision for the company. And you called it a 10-year target. I want to go a little bit deeper to this, because what you're using your company core values in some unique ways. And I want to look at those today. So do you want to start with what your values are currently?
Sure. Yeah. And this is something that really goes beyond kind of our company, and honestly into why I even explain ourselves as a mission-based company, is that we really feel like everyone's job in this country is to impact education. So our three core values are: be the change, ones that are challenging the status quo, that are out there, not just kind of checking the box saying this is the way we always done it, and really looking at how do students learn best, how do teachers teach best. So be the change is a big one for us. And that's for every action that we're doing. The second one is you belong here. And it used to be phrased as we attract others that share the same passion as us, but you belong here is just such a more catchy way to encompass all of that, because we are saying whether you're joining our team or you're just joining our mission, you belong here. Like we want you to be part of this, part of this movement that is going on with education. And the third one is we listen, care, and follow through. This is just really how more about how we operate, is that we're listeners first, that we really care about the work we're doing, and that we're going to follow through on our commitments. And those core values help us in recruiting, rewarding. It's way I always say we review, reward, hire, fire. Those are the things that we're using our core values for, and it challenges us. I mean, we actively talk to our vendors about it. We actively talk to our customers about it, and obviously our team.
Well, that gives us a good starting point. I want to ask you a few questions about values in the formulation of this. Looks like to me, instead of using the one word that a lot of people try to get it down to, they may have 3 or 4 one word values. You went with a phrase. Did you guys debate phrases versus one word?
We did. I mean, we've evolved into where we're at right now. The phrase, I really like the phrase in there. It's there's more of a story to it by doing it as a phrase. I mean, we even get to the point where I'm not wearing one right now, but a lot of if you kind of ran into someone on my team, they have all T-shirts with our core values on them, and they wear them all the time. And like, so it is something. It's almost like you become an ambassador for our brand by doing that. And like, be the change. I mean, who doesn't want to be the change? Who doesn't want to feel like they belong here? And so those phrases mean a lot more than when we talk about saying like, oh, we're accountable, or some kind of the more generic values that you kind of hear of, like honesty, or like, I don't want to knock them. We were there. We did that too. But it's definitely been an evolution for us.
Well, I like the fact that it is an evolution, because I think a lot of people look at values and it's like a project. They did it once.
Right.
Put
And
it
nobody
away.
remembers them. Yeah.
Let's get to work. But you guys are actually living it. This is what I call this. The research I have right now is about 12 different core areas within the business. I call them touch points of where you can use values. You listed off 4 of them: recruiting, rewarding, hiring, and firing. I've got 8 more. Not that you have to use it in all these areas, but a lot of people are going, well, how do I use it? I want to dive into how you're using the values for a moment. Give us an example of what we'd see across the organization of how you use the values day to day.
Yeah, well, I have a real world example literally from this morning, but even before that, I use them for myself more than anything. I kind of joke around. I'm like, I get bored really easy, and it's really easy to get distracted and work on other things. But for me to feel like what we're doing is mission more than money, like honestly, it means more for me. And then if it's impacting employees and anyone else, that's great too. But I want to feel like I'm doing something bigger than just making money and selling stuff. So those core values, I mean, it really it's changed the way I operate as a leader, because it goes beyond me. This isn't now like I started this business for like my own personal like benefit. This is now like it just becomes bigger than me, which is really cool and motivating to do. So on your question, we're a small team, and we're dealing with a lot of the things that we're seeing around the country right now as far as diversity and equity and inclusion. And we're trying to figure out how we address it as a team moving forward and as we grow. And it literally came right back to be like, what are our core values? It has to be real for us. We don't want to just come up with like a generic statement, or say like, this is what we stand for, or this is what we're going to do, just to kind of check that box and say, oh, this is how we're handling diversity. It literally came right back to, well, what are our core values? And that's it. Like, that should stand, and that should drive our diversity policy and the actions that we take to make sure that we are doing the right things for our team and for our vendors and for our customers.
I appreciate you going to the detail. I want to go through, and you can give me quick answers on this if you've got quick answers available. What are the ways you use it in recruiting the right people?
Yeah, yeah. It is part of our phone screening of that we do early, but I actually should take a step back. We created a culture deck that we stole from Netflix's ideas. If you've ever seen what Netflix has done for a culture deck, theirs was really detailed. We started ours out not as detailed as theirs, but we really want to be able to tell the story of like, what is it like to be a member of the K-12 team. And And we put that out there on our website, and we promote it within our social media for people to go through and do it. And it really is like a self-filtering tool to try to find out who are the people that this matches up. So even though those phrases of our core values are fairly descriptive, we have a lot more detail behind that as they go through the culture deck. And that's a great way to just have people kind of track the people that fit those core values versus doing, like a normal way where you post it on Indeed and you have a whole bunch of ones to filter through it. They're self-filtering themselves out by going through that culture deck and then through the questions we're asking. And then from that first phone screen, we're actually asking them about the core values and giving examples of why that resonated and why they felt compelled to even apply for the position.
Now, Kevin just talked about a culture deck. Now, I don't know if you've seen this before, but I've looked at Netflix. I've also looked at HubSpot. You can Google any company you want and see if they have a culture deck. And some of these bigger companies really do a good job of creating all of the different areas at which we are operating as a culture. And it helps in many different ways. One of the ways it helps is, just actually writing the documents out. What do we stand for and who are we really is an important piece that aligns people together, includes many people across the organization. And you get to define specifically who you are and what culture means to you and how that really drives you as an organization. Another way it works is it's just in the hiring aspects. If you showed it to someone, it should either resonate with them or repel away. What I mean by that is if you showed them a culture deck that doesn't fit with them, they should be repelled, right? That makes sense. But if they are aligned with the mission, they are aligned with the values, they should resonate with deeply, and they should work even harder inside the sales process of bringing someone on board, which is really recruiting. And that's just one way that you can use the culture decks. Hopefully this helps you, gives you some ideas and why that's really important as you organize and structure your company for more growth. Back to Kevin. Rewarding is probably pretty simple, but how do you reward people for the values?
We've done this a couple different ways. We've done anything from just like literally a nomination or somebody do something in a weekly meeting and say like, hey, who exemplified our core values this week? And somebody will throw out a name. We used to do this like fun game where every time you were nominated, you got to card out of a deck and there was like money behind it. Like if you picked a 5, you got $5. If you got an ace, it would be $25. And that was a fun way to do it. Right now, we do it weekly in a shout out in our weekly meetings where it's just literally like all right, shout outs, and it's really fun. It's got a lot of energy from our team, and and just be like, hey, Aaron did this for me, and like we hadn't just really was showing how we can be the change and was really kind of pushing our vendors to be better and realize the bigger impact of what they're doing. And it can be big or little. Those shout outs just are really helpful. And then we actually do an award every year for our employee of the year, that our core values employee of the year, and everyone on our team fills out a survey, and that's kind of how we figure out who wins that award.
I've heard companies getting away from the employee of the year kind of thing or employee of the month.
Yeah,
I didn't quite understand that because I guess this goes back to they don't want to offend people. They want people to feel a sense of unity and no competition. But you're doing this. Are you guys seeing competition with people that are trying to get employee of the year, or is it very natural?
It's pretty natural right now. We've had multiple years where we had a tie, so we've had multiple ones. It is a tough one. It's like one of those, like everyone likes to be like rewarded, or everyone has different ways. Like some do not want the award, they do not want their name, like they don't want that spotlight, and others it's really rewarding for them. I don't know if there's a really like clear cut like answer, and I don't know if we'll always continue that or modify it. But we just did it in the last month here where we did our survey, and of a team of 14, we had 9 different people that got first place votes for it. So it was pretty cool to see that. And I don't know if it's the right thing to just kind of highlight one from there. I don't know what's your experience been.
I love the fact that you have 9 out of 14 people getting first place votes in this contest. I mean,
that's to me was my takeaway.
That's the real, what you're looking for across the company. It's not 1 or 2 rock stars. It is literally almost all of the company that is really playing at this level and aligning with the values. So I really appreciate you sharing that with us, Kevin. I always love to I don't know what we've missed inside this journey of what really drives the company forward. I know you've talked about the power of mission. You actually threw out these words that we can come back to if you want to. Mission more than money was something that you focus on, but you didn't explain what that really means to you.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I had someone ask me before of like what, and I don't want to act like I have this figured out by any means. Like it's a constant struggle in my mind all the time because, like it's hard to not look at money as like the scoreboard, to some degree of, especially being around other entrepreneurs. Like you see the big exits and you see kind of what they're doing. And it's been a mindset shift for me that I can't even tell you how I'm complete with yet. But I can just tell you, like, my personal enjoyment comes a lot more out of the mission and the impact than the money aspect of it. To your point, we need to have money, we need to have profit. We're very focused to it, as a team, but we use that also to be like, this is also means we can make more impact the more profitable we are. This isn't for us to just make a bunch of money and then retire right now. I have no interest in retiring. As long as I enjoy this and my team continues to develop, maybe I don't need to be like in the business as much as I need to be. But to me, it really is about impact. And as long as I can live the lifestyle that I want, I don't necessarily need to have all those, it's not about how many zeros are at the end of the numbers in my bank account. It's really about what are we doing to improve other people's lives. It's as simple as that, like for our team, but then also for the work that we're doing.
Beautifully said. We'll wrap up right here because Kevin, what you just talked about as far as mission over money, I think probably doesn't align with everyone, but fast growth companies understand people and understand that it takes more than just profits to create unity and create cohesion and ownership. That what you're describing and all the things that fit around it really are perfect for today's interview. So thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I always like to reflect back on what our guest has just talked about. And this interview really aligns with the hundreds of things I've done with my clients as an executive coach, but also just the other interviews we've done, is really understanding the power of mission inside your company first and foremost. People don't want to just have a job. They want to do something that has meaning. Kevin talked about being in education. I don't know what your business is, but you can find something that would align people together more than just the big goals of money and revenue. That's first and foremost. Using your values across the organization, really critical, really, rewarding people and maybe just having shout outs saying thank you for, being on the team and doing this, and however you choose to do the rewarding side of it. And then also the importance of recruiting using your values really is critical. People miss this opportunity a lot. So I'm just highlighting it here for you. Let's wrap up this. There's a lot of areas at which values are touching the organization that you're probably not using. If you want to have a conversation about what are some of those areas, just reach out to me at genehammett.com and let's schedule a call to really look at what's going on in your organization, some of the gaps that you have. I do this absolutely free. I'd love to just work with you. If you're listening this deep into the interview, it means you really want to change something in your business. And I want to figure out exactly what that is for you and then give you a plan absolutely free to you. All you have to do is go to genehammett.com and schedule a call. When you think of growth and you think of culture, think of Growth Think Tank. As always, be with courage.